Hey guys, Zara here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good morning so far. It's 9:29, about 45 seconds left until the New York session regular trading hours opens. This is the Three Sisters, as most of you know. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow 1-minute charts with VWAP, volume weighted average price, 2.5 standard deviation bands on either side. This is the Dow chart looking a little funny. We've had contract rollover on TradingView here by the looks of it. And the Dow contract is looking a little funny, so I don't know if they put the wrong contract in there or the market's just catching up to roll over their contracts maybe later today or during the session, maybe even tomorrow. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag, and the Dow contract can look choppy like that. So that's what's happening here. Waiting for this market to open. Actually, it has opened. There's the first 1-minute candle forming. There'll be the 1-minute open range forming as well. I'll be putting you on pause, guys, cutting out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments. Keep this thing nice and tight. I may or may not have a trade here this morning. Who knows? This is the NASDAQ chart right here on the trading grid. There it is. Daily up in the top left. Again, hit all-time highs this morning on PPI news. That was right up there. That was at 8:30, of course, this morning on the PPI. Came in softer than expected, and we are still very much range bound here in the Asian and UK range. Of course, the London session continues as we speak until about 11:30 a.m. New York time, but the New York market is now open and we are off to the races. I'll put you on pause and bring you back in a bit. Alright guys, not much happening here. Looking like we want to push up a little bit here on the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the 3. And there it is again, guys, the typical divergence we've seen of late. This is not the way it always works, by the way. We are in a cycle right now where the Dow wants to go down, the NASDAQ wants to go up, and the S&P almost always does something in the middle of those two. And today is no exception. I won't be jumping into anything here, guys. I'm going to be very patient here this morning, as I typically am. Occasionally I'll take one right out of the gates, but certainly not today. So we're in a rampaging bull market here, guys. You can see that on the daily, of course. On the NASDAQ, we are range bound on the 30-minute chart. We had the big wide-ranging candle, the reaction candle to the PPI news, but again finished back in the range with a little doji style body, almost, in other words, closing where it opened, basically, within a point or two. And so that's kind of an indecision climax to that reaction. And so we'll take that into consideration here as we watch what happens on this open. Let's take a look at the S&P in terms of the 30-minute chart as well. There it is. Again, this is the range from yesterday. There's the narrower range of the Asian and European session, dropping down now. Could put a marker here now, just as a little visual reminder of what we're looking at. Doesn't mean we have to act upon anything. Notice the daily on the Dow, very, very different picture than the daily on the NASDAQ, right? Dropping down below now, breaking several days lows without that wick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days back. A little sloppy here today on the NASDAQ. So far, nothing for me to do. All three sisters now below open range and below VWAP. Dow firming up after dropping down fairly significantly right out of the gates. Back into the open range on the NASDAQ and kind of really hovering around VWAP on the S&P as well. My sense is that we are vulnerable to selling down here, given that we failed to maintain the strength on the initial celebration from PPI. That arrow just means clean traffic. It's not a predictor of what's going to happen. Just that if we get down into this area, pretty smooth sailing here potentially for prices. Alright guys, continuing to weaken now on all three, including looking like we're dropping down below, or trying to, on the NASDAQ. Still range bound. I want to show you this, guys. I want to show you the open range from London. You see it there? There's the 1 minute open range from the London session. Here's the open range from the New York session. You'll notice that they're essentially the same. So that's some significant resistance there. There's some significant resistance there given that there's significant overhead. And that might make me lean towards shorts here, guys. If we break down below, even though we're in this range, the reconciliation in concert with what we saw here on the failure of the bulls to follow through. So here we go. Sell stop order, guys. Session low right now. I will fix this marker in a moment. Looking for 1R. Here we go. And I'm in, guys. And I'm in right there. Short the NASDAQ. And now it's the waiting game. All right, guys, very close to target here. I'm moving my stop to break even to lock in a sure no lose. And let's see if we can go a little bit further here and get to the promised land. And there it is, guys. Took a while to play out, but we were able to nail the promised land. I think I explained this trade in some pretty good detail. It has everything to do with what we saw here on this range, trying to rally. Of course, big celebration on the PPI news, and then failure by the bulls to maintain above and sustain above the range, and then building a little bit of a base here in the launching pad and failing, a series of lower highs. And then, of course, in the face of that incredible weakness on the Dow and S&P, the capitulation just felt like this had to be taken and at the session lows, and it worked out very well. Have an amazing day, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Talk soon.